Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, hosted by your boy E with all your fun wrestling factoids. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We will be covering just a little bit of the WWE Raw review and WWE NXT preview. And we also have my WrestleMania wish list, what I hope happens and what I kind of don't want to see happen. And to kick it all and to end it all off, we're going to talk about how an A&E documentary about Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, he kind of hinted at retirement. So we'll kind of, we'll get into that, for sure. But before we do anything, I also have, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. This puts your questions up on top of the list so I can see it, so we can have a nice little conversation. It also really helps the show, guys. A little peace, love, and positivity is all we ask. Again, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So, super cool. Go ahead and use that link if you want to talk to me. All right, so let's go ahead and dig in on here. What do we got here? What do we got for the first segment? We have da 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 WWE Raw review. So this episode of Raw, obviously, the last Raws that are coming, that are ending, like to the WrestleMania year per se. They're all going to be good, and this one was very, very good. It was a little heartbreaking, to be honest. It was, but he did what he had to do. It's Cody Rhodes' fault why The Rock is doing what he's doing, making all these young babies cry, and I don't know, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it was a good episode. The episode started off with The Rock coming out, kind of congratulating the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, for setting an attendance record. So I think that was pretty cool. The WWE has sold out 13 consecutive live events, I think it said on the graphic. I think that includes Raw and SmackDown, not the WWE live events. But I don't know, I think that's super cool. Wrestling's back. Wrestling's back on the market. If you want to become a wrestling fan, right now is the perfect time to do so. So you're watching the right podcast. All right, so The Rock came out and Roman came out, basically, flexing, which they have every right to do because they've been running WWE for, gosh, they've been running it forever, it seems like. The Universal Champion going on 1,300 plus days as the Universal Undisputed Champion, Roman Reigns. So, also, you had Seth Rollins come out, which it took Seth Rollins a lot of guts. Took Seth Rollins a lot of guts to kind of like come out, and I like how he came out, in the crowd, telling The Rock and Roman Reigns that he wasn't going to fall into their trap, which is exactly what they probably were hoping for. But he challenged The Rock at first, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, like that would be so cool to see, the Architect against the Great One." I honestly would love to see that match, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. He also challenged Roman, and that was a no. Everybody knew Roman wasn't gonna fight. But at the end of the day, he fought Solo Sikoa, and The Rock made a stipulation that it was going to be a Bloodline Rules match. So we kind of got a taste of what a Bloodline Rules match was going to look like tonight on Raw, which kind of gives like foreshadowing to the absolute bedlam and the craziness and the out of control that's going to happen probably on night two. So we'll see what happens after that. All right, so there was a 4-on-4 tag team match. It was DIY in the New Day against the Judgment Day. Like I talked about in the last podcast, how I feel like I think the Judgment Day are kind of like, I think right now they're kind of teetering. They're like, should we keep it? Should we not keep it? What's going to happen at Mania? Are these guys going to lose the tag team titles? I think very much so if Damian Priest and Finn Balor lose their championship at WrestleMania during the six-pack ladder match challenge. Honestly, I would split them up. If I was WWE management, I'd be like, look, like you have two great singles wrestlers. You have JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. JD could probably make a killing doing the WWE speed wrestling. So I think that they should kind of save him for that. But I don't know. We'll see what Judgment Day. It seems like they're kind of like at odds with each other, especially with Dominic bringing in Legado del Fantasma. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Like I said, I am a fan of Finn, as Finn Balor as a singles wrestler, but not so much as the Judgment Day Finn Balor. Right, and then so we got news that Roman Reigns will be inducting Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame. This is kind of, I kind of saw this coming, but not again at the same time. Like he's recently, obviously he's been with Roman, he's been with Brock Lesnar, he was with CM Punk, and for a small smidge of time he was with Curtis Axel. But I don't know, just having Roman Reigns come out to induct an announcer, a great promoter. He's also, he was the ECW guy, the only one who gave us like a damn, and I don't. And then you have him, as one of the best managers in WWE history. So I don't know if having Roman do it is like the right way to go about it. But hey, you have the tribal chief doing it, and he looked like he was happy to hear it. So honestly, I kind of want to watch the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony just to kind of see how that all works out. So that should be, pretty interesting. So also we have also, like we were talking about the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day lately has been completely. It seemed like they've been in chaos, and I'm only saying that they're in chaos is because Dominic right now he got the go ahead from Damian Priest to be like, look, yeah, man, you can go ahead and fight your dad at WrestleMania, but remember where your allegiance lies. And I don't know, it was just so awkward. It just seemed so awkward between Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, even Rhea Ripley, and and all that, which kind of makes me think that is Dominic about to turn on the Judgment Day? I don't know. I feel like for him as a superstar, and if he wants to cement himself as a singles wrestler, he kind of has to do something more than be somebody's lapdog, which he is for the Judgment Day. He's kind of like, he's kind of like the maid, or I don't want to say the B word, but he's kind of like that to the Judgment Day, where he has to like, answer to somebody, Finn Balor. He's like on the bottom of the list. But if you join Legado del Fantasma, he can very much be in that leadership role, which he probably wants to be in next to Santos Escobar. So I think it'd be pretty interesting to kind of see this storyline play out. I think definitely. I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. I really don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. But you may never know. I know WrestleMania is notorious for kind of having those shocking moments. You see those memes and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like it's Mania season. It's Mania season. That's kind of like, it's kind of like a saying. But I don't know. It'd be super interesting to see what happens between that. And to be honest, I would totally love to see that because Dominic Mysterio, he has to eventually jump into singles competitiveness. I don't know if that's a word. Sorry. Yeah, singles competition, singles category, the singles. Oh God, I'm sorry. I can't think today. But he has to make that jump, and pretty soon he's gonna have to do it without the Judgment Day. I don't think the Judgment Day can hold him up much longer anymore, especially Rhea Ripley, doing the mommy and Poppy and Eddie Guerrero into China, which they have nothing on Eddie Guerrero in China, by the way. It's a disgrace that you compared it to. Stop it, WWE media. Stop it, all you clickbait people out there on Twitter, Instagram, and whatever. Sorry. I was Sorry. Anyways, I was a huge Eddie Guerrero fan, so like seeing Dominic, and I'm not a huge fan of Dominic. Sorry, I started getting those flashbacks. Stress. Just kidding. But anyways, if Dominic Mysterio wants to become a real talk in the wrestling industry, he has to kind of, he has to do it like now, like right now, right now. All right, moving on. So we saw Sami Zayn fight Bronson Reed. He was looking amazing during the match. They even did that promo, like that Rocky promo, where he's like, Sammy, what are you afraid of? What's going on? You're not telling me. And he's like, I'm afraid, okay? I'm afraid. And like, you see Gunther, and like he comes out and he kicks his butt, and like you have the right to be afraid of Gunther. I would be afraid of Gunther. That guy's huge, man. He's the ring general, dude. Like that guy probably has abs on his legs or something. Like it's crazy. So I'm anticipating Sami Zayn to lose, and if he does win, then it's I don't know if I'd be a huge fan of that, but we'll just see what happens. But the match ended. ultimately with Gunther dragging out Gable onto the ramp, and then Sami Zayn went to go, aid him and make sure he's okay, his buddy, his mentor, and his protege, and he got jumped by Gunther. And honestly, after Bronson Reed kind of disappeared, I was kind of thinking because during the match, like he ran out there and like there was no bell that was ringing at all when Gunther attacked him. I was like, dude, didn't Sammy just win by disqualification? But I don't, I'm sure like no one really thought like people would be paying attention to that, but I was WWE. I was. I'm smarter than you. I'm just kidding. No, but and it was a good fight all in all. He fought really well, and Gunther seems unstoppable. So we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. All right, moving on, we have Maxine Dupree teaming up with Ivy Nile against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. To be honest, I think Indy Hartwell was kind of tired of this Candice LeRae kind of thing, and they did lose. They did lose. LeRae was super upset with Hartwell, so I don't know if they're gonna fight or she's going to attack people. But I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with Candice LeRae here. I really honestly don't know. She's a good talent. She was good in NXT, and she's kind of like that NXT star, like Aleister Black, like Lars Sullivan, kind of like that. Who's that other name? Like Keith Lee, where you make it up from WWE NXT to the main card, to the main roster, Raw or SmackDown, and then there's just no room for you. There's no room for you here. I'm sorry, Candice. There's no room for you. And it's sad to say because, I know you're a good talent, and I don't know if they're trying to like kind of compare her to that Alexa Bliss, but you can, beat up how many people you want. You can insult them about how their brother has passed away and he would be super disappointed in you. Thank God he's dead. Like you can say all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you're no more than just like an NXT star that, couldn't make it up in the major leagues, so to speak. But, we'll see what they're going to do with her. I know she's Johnny Gargano's wife, so it's kind of like one of those things where if she does end up, you know, staying on the main roster, she's probably going to be that random heel, kind of like a Lacey Evans. Like I don't know if you guys remember Lacey Evans, but she was like that. She came in, everybody was super excited to see her. She was competing for good matches and like titles and stuff like that, and then she kind of just fizzled away, which is kind of sad because I think she's wrestling somewhere else now. But anyways, so next I have that Drew McIntyre promo where he was in a funeral home, attending a funeral, closing the casket on Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship reign, and it was just like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, Drew? Come on, man. You're better than that. You're better than cursing next to a casket. You never curse next to a dead guy, dude. Even if it's figuratively, even if it's fake, man. Like I drive by the cemetery and I'm like, like I'm just kidding, no. But like it should be an interesting match. I kind of want Drew to win, but I don't think that's gonna happen, especially the whole Seth Rollins thing. And Seth Rollins kind of told the girl who interviewed him that he always has a plan B. And a lot of people were kind of speculating that that plan B was to turn on Cody Rhodes. But as a matter of fact, it was a plan B, knowing that like he was going to get jumped by the bloodline and that Cody Rhodes was quote unquote not going to be there and ended up being there. But the bloodline, they wound up them and Roman Reigns was hiding under the ring for like forever. What was he doing down there? I wonder if there's like a trap door under the ring, or do they literally like just wait there, like bring like snacks and like watch like a DVD player or something like that? Remember those portable DVD players? Am I that old? Like, I know, like, cell phones, they don't last a long time. But, like, the battery, especially my battery, you know what I mean? I have an iPhone, but I'm not dissing on iPhones or anything like that. If you have an iPhone, cool, that's awesome. If you have an Android, even better. But, like, I wonder if there's a trapdoor because there's so many times, like, where, oh my God, he comes out from under the ring, and you're like, how the hell, like how did that happen? Honestly, I think like during the commercials and like I've been to a couple of live events for WWE, and where the whole scene just goes black, and then the only thing that lights up is the Titantron. So you're kind of paying attention to the ad and the commercial kind of thing, and like maybe like he can like slip in or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's that Houdini act. No, anyways. So And he also mentioned about CM Punk being an out of shape has been, and that he gave him the future shock DDT at the Royal Rumble. And he essentially ended his WrestleMania hopes. CM Punk was supposed to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Seth Rollins for that main event spot at uh at the at WrestleMania. But to be honest, like you have to think about it as well. Like I know CM Punk was a big name coming back, and if he would have won the Royal Rumble, it would have been absolutely like shocking as hell. But then you also had Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns doing the part two thing. I don't think CM Punk would have got that main event. I don't think he would have. Or maybe if they did give him the main event, they'd be like a main event on Saturday because everybody knows the main event on Sunday is far much more supreme than the main event on Saturday. They kind of make it the main event on Saturday to kind of put like a lot of prestige or trying to promote it or trying to make it seem like it's a lot more of a crazier, fandom or as it like more than it already is. And I don't know. So maybe they would have gave him night one, and night two would have stuck with Roman and Reigns, or would have stuck with Roman and Reigns, Roman and Rhodes, Roman and Rhodes. But yeah, no. Honestly, I think even if CM Punk won the Royal Rumble to challenge Seth Rollins, that would have never made it up to the WrestleMania 40 main event. So you know. Next, we want to talk about Ricochet. Ricochet has been on an absolute tear lately. As I mentioned before, if the WWE doesn't bring back the Cruiserweight Championship or the Light Heavyweight Championship, you can bank your money on this guy winning the WWE Speed, the first ever champion. I've kind of thought about this and I've had this take for quite a bit because Ricochet's amazing, man. He's fun to watch. He gets the fans into it. He's very high flying. He's very fast. He does a lot of like agile stuff where he's not afraid to put his body on the line and defy the odds of gravity where he'll like jump out of the ring and stuff like that off the top rope onto the announce table. Like he's not afraid to like do whatever it takes to entertain the fans, which is what being a WWE superstar is all about. The only thing that kind of sucks is his size, man, and it sucks because like you know you are you know you are kind of cursed with your genes. So it's like I don't want like I'm not trying like it's not bad, but like I don't know if you're not tall. Like for me, for example, I love playing basketball, but whenever I go to the rec center and play with a whole bunch of tall dudes, like I can barely put up a shot because it gets blocked the whole time. It's like I just give up. I'm like, man, I can't even dribble without it being stolen. The moment I get the ball, it disappears. I'm like, oh great, like here we go again. No, but like we are cursed to our hereditary genes. So that's why I hope Ricochet he achieves greatness and they continue to push him because he's a great superstar. He's fun to watch. So the new WWE Speed Champion. He's also going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, where you kind of had that promo with Dominic Mysterio asking Andrade to take him out, and he's like, "You want me to take him out?" And I was like, "No, I'm telling you to take him out." And I was like, "Damn, you don't tell Andrade to do that, yo. Andrade's gonna kill you." No, I really honestly think that Andrade is probably going to because I know Dominic Mysterio. I don't know if he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because he has a match to prepare for the next night. But they probably put him in there just to kind of keep the keep that speculation of if is Andrade going to join the Judgment Day or is he going to join the Legado del Fantasma or are we just going to roll solo? So should be interesting to see what they do with Andrade. Especially the fact that they recently just signed him back to the WWE. So should be interesting. Next, you have the Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch Raw. I thought it was kind of funny where Adam Pearce was kind of like, Rhea, like, stop, wait for Mania. And then, Rhea's like, "Oh, okay, I guess I have no other choice but to, and like she throws the towel on him, and like she like blitzes through like seven dudes. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought that was funny as hell. And they started fighting each other, and I was like, okay, I'm like, is anybody not gonna like just accredit like Rhea Ripley to that classic like comedic skit like you see in any movie where you want to distract somebody or where you're trying to like get something done where you're like, oh yeah, I was just like I don't know. I thought that was awesome as heck. Like I like watching Rhea Ripley. She's very good. I don't think she should be a heel. She's kind of like that Randy Orton where like you kind of do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do to win championship, to win matches, and if you make friends along the way, cool. And if you don't, then hey, like no skin off my bones, man. I'm getting mine out here, so whatevs. And lastly, we have the Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa match. The ending looked pretty surprising when they were about to rock bottom the Rock through the announce table. But then the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns had the pop up from under the railroad, under the Golden Gate Bridge, looking for his pot of gold or something. And like he just ruined it, man. Like, and then Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes got their butts beat. Mama Rhodes, and they had the bells. It was just gruesome. I was like, oh my God, when is there going to be like, and even Michael Cole said it himself. He said it the best way. How do you beat that? And to be honest, I don't think anybody can. So we shall see what happens on night one. But all in all, it was a decent match until the ending where Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes got their butt beat. All right, so don't go anywhere. Next, we have our WWE NXT preview, where we will talk about the last NXT show before we dive into Stand and Deliver. So don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Hope you liked our last little rant about WWE Raw, how it went, why I was depressed all night long. I was stress eating. I was eating Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and I was like, Cody, I'm just kidding. I was a total Cody crybaby last night, guys. But don't let that fool you. I'm manly, man. I can wrestle in the WWE if I want. No, I'm just kidding. I'd absolutely get killed. All right. Before we move on to our next segment, just remember we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show. To ensure that your question gets put on top, use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net to ensure that your question gets read right on top of the list, so we can talk about it. So you can tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you want me to further talk about. If you think I'm an idiot, cool. I'm just kidding. No. But all in all, we're wrestling fans, all of us. So let's talk about it. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. Once again, it really helps the show. We love a positive feedback, peace, love, and positivity, but feedback in general is a gift. Again, the link is the gsmcpodcast.net. So use that tips and donations link, guys, to talk, man. I love to talk. As you can see, I won't shut the hell up. But all right, let's move on to the WWE NXT preview. This is the last NXT show before Stand and Deliver, so this is a pretty big deal. So let's dig on into it. We have the number one contendership match for the tag team titles, the triple threat match. We have Axiom and Nathan Frazier against the OC, against Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, the LWO. And I'm excited to see this match. I know right now NXT is on, so I'm super excited to watch, probably as soon as I get, as soon as the podcast ends at 9, I'll probably hit you guys up, look at, continue on YouTube. I'll be on the shorts, giving you guys some live reactions to, what happens the NXT before Stand and Deliver. So, honestly, who I think is going to win the match to fight the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Like I said, I think that they're ready to bring Braun Breaker onto that main stage, especially if, speculation, if Roman Reigns retires or takes a break. And then the Rock's leaving too, but we'll get into that like in my last segment. But they're gonna need superstars, and honestly, if you're part of the NXT roster, this is probably the best opportunity young NXT stars have ever gotten coming to the Raw or the SmackDown main cards. So I think that's super awesome. Like I would love to see Trick Williams fight like Gunther for the Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Carmelo Hayes fighting Logan Paul for the USA Championship match would be dope. Um, but I don't know, a lot of big things coming in NXT, so make sure you don't miss a beat there. We also have Blair Davenport versus Sol Ruca. This is kind of Sol Ruca's chance at retribution as she's fighting the girl that injured her per se. So I don't know. It should be a pretty good match. Like I said before, I think Sol Ruca, she has that potential to carry the women's division once when like Valkyrie or Roxanne Perez, whoever wins out of that match. She's probably going to be the next number one contender. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad at watching a Sol Ruca match because she's very athletic. She, high flyer. So, it'd be pretty cool. All right, next we have Fallon Henley and JC Jane. This whole thing started with Thea Hale and fighting with her former best friend, her former confidants, and she basically got dropped, and now she's embraced this. I think she's with the guys who dress like they're from Alabama, the Riptide. Oh my god, I forgot their names. I'm a bad wrestling laureate. No, but like University something. But then you have Jasmine Nix, and I think Thea Hale's gonna get her hands on Jasmine Nix. So probably have a nice little match on Stand and Deliver. I don't know if they're gonna do a pre-show for Stand and Deliver, but if you did, you would definitely have these two. You would either have Henley and Hale tag teaming against Jane and Nix, or you would have two separate one on you'd have that one-on-one match. So, all right, we have Carmen Petrovich and with Natalia, newly into NXT, against Lola Vice. So that should be a pretty interesting match. Speaking that Natalia from the main card has, the Queen of Hearts made her way down to the NXT. I don't think she's ever been in the NXT. So right now is her chance. Or if she did, she didn't achieve, as much as she probably had the potential to because they needed her on the main card ASAP because of, she has that Hart Foundation name. She's royalty, baby. So it should be interesting to see what they do with her character, even if she's a manager, or she's like kind of like the trainer or the Mr. Miyagi of this Carmen Petrovich. So, and then we have Oba Femi against Joe Gacy. Oba Femi is preparing for a triple threat match for the North American NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver. So you can kind of see this match. I think he's going to get the win. He's obviously a dominant champion, but if he doesn't, then it's probably going to be like from interference and kind of setting up this. I don't want to kind of compare it to the United States Championship picture at WrestleMania between Logan Paul, Orton, and Owens, but it's kind of going to be like that. I think I think they're promoting is going to kind of like be along those lines. And hey, like I'm not mad at it. I like the way that Logan Paul's playing this heel role where he constantly cheats, the brass knuckles, the power of the punch. And I don't know, it should be interesting to see. And then next we have Lexis King against Von Wagner. Two top NXT talents going at it, obviously kind of just buttering up the crowd, getting them ready for WrestleMania weekend, which is exciting. Like, I think WrestleMania weekend doesn't start on Saturday. It starts on Friday or arguably Thursday. So I don't know, all these matches, even NXT, all these superstars are stepping it up. They're putting on a great show. They're doing things that they probably haven't done before in the squared circle. So I'm honestly pretty excited to watch this NXT, show. All right, we have Supernova Sessions with guest Roxanne Perez and Lara Valkyrie. So this is going to be just that, that standard promo where these guys are going to be probably tearing each other from limb from limb. Then you're going to have Noam Dar in the background, kind of like, oh shit, like, and then like you're gonna have like the referees come out and be like, oh god, it's going to be pretty awesome to watch, but it's gonna be that standard WWE promo, not like a Becky versus Rhea kind of promo because that's like a heavier star power. And I'm not saying these girls aren't star powers, but they're kind of not there yet, but they probably will be. So I don't know, gonna be pretty excited to see. And Roxanne Perez, what the way she keeps saying that she never lost a championship, like it's cool and all, but it's to the point where you have to accept the fact that like it's maybe you just weren't the guy. Maybe you just weren't no, not the guy. Maybe you just weren't the girl, bro. Maybe you didn't have what it takes, but whatever. All right, to kind of finish us off here, we have an NXT kind of like I want to say brother versus brother match. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. You have two tag team partners who knew each other like the back of their hands, fighting in the city of brotherly love. So it seems like it's very fitting for these two guys to fight in Philadelphia, especially with Trick Williams coming back after being betrayed by Carmelo Hayes on Vengeance Day. Carmelo Hayes the whole time has been just attacks and attacks by both of these guys. And to be honest, I kind of want to see Trick Williams come out on top. I think he's better. I think he's a lot better than Carmelo Hayes. He's definitely a lot more fit. Well, I'm not, I'm not the one to talk. Like, I have like a keg, under here. No, I'm shredding those holiday pounds. Leave me alone. Summer shredding. No, anyways, but this is going to be a good match. They're doing this whole promo thing right. They're kind of including, they're like, oh, my grandfather watched me and he knew Carmelo was my friend and all that. I kind of, they're getting personal with it. They're getting super personal with it. So like when they fight each other, it's going to be awesome. I don't know if this is going to be the main event at the NXT Stand and Deliver, but if it very much was so, I wouldn't be mad at all. So, come at me, bro. Put Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes on the main event card. So all right. And just to kind of look into NXT Stand and Deliver that we have lying ahead of us on Saturday, Saturday afternoon. Like I said before, we have the Trick Williams and the Carmelo Hayes match. It's going to be pretty dope. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Definitely a lot of hot flying. I hope they kind of add like not like obviously, the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley and the Final Testament have that Philadelphia street fight, stipulation, but I think they should do this like not an I Quit. No, an I Quit match would be pretty cool. Last man standing match, pretty cool. But you know me, I like stipulations in all my matches, which is, not ideal. But, I'm a wrestling fan, people. Born and raised from the Attitude Era. Belly up, baby. Um, but moving on, we have Ilya Dragunov against Tony D'Angelo for the NXT Championship. Honestly, I like D'Angelo. I like the whole Italian aspect of it, like my family, and I'm not saying that he, like him having the strap on him would not benefit the NXT or the brand itself, meaning WWE. But I don't know. You have Dragon, like he's been so dominant, and he's had a pretty good reign. And I don't think D'Angelo's the guy to dethrone him. I honestly don't think so. So we shall see what happens. We also have the NXT Women's Championship match against Lyra Valkyrie and Roxanne Perez. Like I said before, I feel for Roxanne Perez, but I just don't feel that like she can just jump back and all of a sudden she's ready to like hold the title like, again. But like I said, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they'll put the strap on Perez, and maybe Lyra will come to SmackDown or Raw. Like that's the crazy thing about NXT is that you don't know where these superstars are going to be probably in the next couple of months. They can either go, to WWE or they kind of have that WWE NXT as like kind of like a minor league system where they can apply and maybe like fight for TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, or even New Japan wrestling, professional wrestling. So we'll see what happens with these girls. It'd be terrible to lose these girls, to be honest. But honestly, I think Valkyrie's going to come up with the win. So, all right, we had that triple threat match between Oba Femi, Dijak, and Josh Briggs for the North American NXT Championship. I kind of mentioned this in the podcast that triple threat matches are usually designed for like you have that one competitor who's kicking ass the whole match, who looks like he deserves to be the champion, and then he gets thrown out of the ring, and then the champion rolls up the other guy and retains the championship. Honestly, I think this might be kind of one of those matches. Um, Obviously, you have Briggs standing up for his partner who was destroyed by Obafemi, but Dijak, he's great. I think he could definitely hold the North American Championship, but not beating Oba Femi, if that makes any sense. So I think he's going to retain the championship at Stand and Deliver. And then just kind of end it all off. We had the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin, Braun Breaker. We don't know who they're going to fight. Right now, you have that triple threat tag team match going on. So it'd be kind of interesting to see who they end up fighting. Either way, it's going to be a great match, great superstars, great validation. And you have a great WWE NXT Stand and Deliver pay-per-view. So, look forward to that. All right. Just kind of butter you up for the next segment. I have a WrestleMania wish list of things that I kind of want to see, I don't want to see. So, hey, stick around.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reiterate about what we talked about, we had our WWE Raw review. It was a good Raw, very good. And we had our WWE NXT preview. So if you're not watching that right now, you can watch me and maybe like on a side little TV, keep like, the WWE NXT on USA. But moving on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have stumbled upon the most wonderful time of the year for wrestling fans. This is kind of like our Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania season is like the playoffs of NFL, the World Series, NHL, NBA playoffs, kind of all molded into this great sports entertainment spectacle that is WrestleMania. Like it's just it just hits different, ladies and gentlemen. And there's some things that happen at WrestleMania. Obviously, I did my WrestleMania power rankings on the last podcast. If you haven't watched it, look it up on the GSMC Sports Network on YouTube. And it's there's a lot of moments that happen in WrestleMania that kind of shape the standard at WWE. So it's kind of not like, oh, this thing happened at WrestleMania and we're just going to kind of brush it under the rug. And I'm not saying that never happens, because it obviously it does. Like that Doctor of Thugonomics versus who's that guy? The guitar guy. Oh, what was his name? Elias. I thought that was pretty cool, and a lot of people like probably forgot about that. You're welcome for reminding you. But so WrestleMania is a pretty big deal, guys, and I want to share with you guys my WrestleMania wish list. I'm not sure if you're going to like it, and if you don't, obviously let me know in the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. But if you do, hey, leave me a like, man. Comment. Tell me how much I look pretty. Tell me how much you like my my black shirt that won't button at the top because of, I haven't been working out like a wrestler, Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I told you guys I got, ripped to shreds last night. I really had a carton of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. But anyways, moving on. So my wish list. So what I kind of want to see in my wish list, I want to see The Rock and Roman Reigns win night one. I want that because I want to see an absolute bedlam night two. I want to see Seth come out. I want to see Drew, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, The Rock. I want to see everybody come out, and I have a feeling there's going to be like a surprise. Like people are saying Stone Cold or John Cena is going to be in one of the wrestling promos or one of the wrestling matches. So it'd be kind of cool to see, like an All Out Brawl. And also, a wish list that I had is I wanted to see Chad Gable fight Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, okay? Not that I don't like Sami Zayn, not that I don't think he's talented, but Chad Gable almost got him. And if it wasn't for Gunther being Gunther, he could very much, be the Intercontinental Champion. And I kind of have this high praise about him because he kind of reminds me like a young Kurt Angle because he's very physically, he has the mic skills, and he should be put over. Next, I kind of on my WWE WrestleMania wish list, I really want to see Dominic. No, not Dominic. That's the other one. I really want to see Damian Priest and Finn Balor lose the tag team champions at this six-pack ladder match. I'm sorry, I'm not a hater of Judgment Day. I just want to see these two guys and what they can do in a singles competitor, and they deserve that run. Despite especially with, like I said before, speculation Roman Reigns and The Rock leaving, so you're gonna need a lot more talent ready to fight Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins. Next, my WrestleMania wish list, I have Damian Priest cashing in his Money in the Bank. Like I said before, I have a pretty good speculation that he's probably gonna cash it in on Seth on night one. That would be pretty cool. That would be the ideal moment because he has fought in Drew McIntyre before and he has won. So I don't know if he's going to wait till night two to challenge Seth Rollins. Although, Seth Rollins, the turmoil after night one and the Drew McIntyre match. So that'd be a pretty easy win. There we go. Next, I really, really, and I mentioned it before in segment one, I really want to see Dominic Mysterio turn on the Judgment Day. I don't know why. I think he needs this for his singles career. I think he'd be great with Legado del Fantasma. And I don't know. I think he would just be just the leader. And I think like that really butters him up. Like he doesn't want to be the B word anymore in the Judgment Day. He has something to prove. He's a man. He doesn't want to be under the tutelage of or overshadowed by Damian Priest or Finn Balor. Next, my wish list is I want Cody Rhodes to win, but I kind of want to see this happen. Kind of what happened at WrestleMania 10 where you had Bret the Hitman Hart defeat Yokozuna. Yokozuna had the title hostage and nobody could beat him. And when Bret Hart beat him, the whole locker room just rejoiced. They came out and they celebrated with him. Kind of like a celebration, like a hurrah. Thank you for bringing the WWF Championship back down to earth. Not like to this, grand station where, next is I kind of want to see an all-out brawl. I mentioned this before. I don't want to see Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes go one-on-one. That could be very selfish of me. Could be very selfish, but all in all, I kind of want to see just absolute bedlam. Like, it's so much fun. So, like tables, ladders, and chairs. You just want to see carnage, and everybody's laid out in the ring, and the last two people standing is Roman and Cody. That'd be pretty awesome. Next on my wish list is I have Drew McIntyre winning the World's Heavyweight Championship. Not like I don't like Seth Rollins, but Drew, he deserves a championship reign. Like, he had that pandemic reign, and it was cool and all, and he really held the WWE company on his back while they lost a lot of revenue and, like, tickets and merchandise sales, and probably, like, a lot of viewership declined as well. But, I don't know. I think he deserves another shot with the strap on him. He's a pretty good heel right now. So, honestly, I would love to see that. So that was my WWE WrestleMania wish list. Hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, let me know in the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. A couple things that I don't want to see, you guys, is that there's been a lot of speculation that right now Matt Hardy has a contract right in front of him from AEW, but he's not signing it yet. Same with Jeff Hardy. I don't want to see these guys did what they did couple WrestleManias ago and I think they replaced Enzo Amore and Big Cass in a ladder match for the WWE Tag Team titles. So I hope they don't do that again. I hope they don't bring the Hardy Boys back for nostalgia. Like, I have nothing against the Hardy Boys, but they're just, I'm going to sound like such a jerk, but they're just too old, man. They're just too old. I don't think they have what it takes to, keep the fans entertained in a match that lasts longer than 5 minutes. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude. I'm just a wrestling fan. I want to see the best of a product. And right now, cool. Hardy Boys are awesome. Team Extreme. But I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. Also, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin and I love John Cena to bits, but I don't want to see them stick their nose in the main events. Any of the main events. You don't need it. I don't want to see it like Austin 316. Like I know he has a lot of baggage with The Rock. Obviously, they fought like a bunch of I think they fought like 3 times on 3 separate occasions at WrestleMania. But I don't want to see that anymore, man. Like it's cool like if Cody Rhodes wins on a technicality because John Cena or Stone Cold Steve Austin, helped him win, you know, that'd be terrible. That'd be absolute. I would be disappointed as a fan. And I know I just recently I don't want to seem hypocritical, and I know I just recently said that I kind of want to see complete bedlam of people like surprising people come out, but I just don't want it to end that way, man. I don't want to see a stunner, man. I don't want to see a stunner. I don't want to see an attitude adjustment. I don't want to see an five knuckle shuffle. I don't want to see I don't want to see that, man. Like I just want to see the bloodline, Seth Rollins, Jay, Cody, fight these guys. God, I would be heavily disappointed. You can see the disappointment on my face if this thing happens. So, that was my WrestleMania wish list. Leave me a comment telling me that what you want to see at WrestleMania. I'm eager to find out so we could talk about it. But till further notice, we're going to talk about our next segment, the fourth and final, and it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. Roman Reigns' future in the WWE. Is he retiring or is he not? We'll talk about it in a sec.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. So we recently talked about our WWE Raw review, NXT preview. We also talked about my WrestleMania wish list. Next, we're going to talk about something that is that could very much shake up the world of wrestling if it's the WWE, AEW, or even like during those independent circuits, because Roman Reigns is like such a big deal in the wrestling world. He's like this superstar. He has this title reign that has been absolutely heroic, which is, I credit him. Obviously, he's put in the work. A lot of people are like, oh, Roman got handed down the championship because he was Vince McMahon's favorite or he was Triple H's favorite from the Shield. But like this guy worked his ass off, man. You have to respect where he is at this moment, especially with all the stuff that he kind of went through medically. So I don't know. I just think you should, give him a little more credit. So Roman Reigns' future in the WWE. Reigns discussed cancer treatment and a possible WWE retirement in an A&E documentary about Roman Reigns. He said, and I quote, "You guys better cherish these moments, because once I lose the WWE Undisputed Championship, I'm calling it quits." And this could very much be part of his character. Like, so, obviously once he said this, I think he would know that the wrestling world would just blow up and the media would be like, oh my God, like, what does he mean by that? Like, he's only 38 years old. I think he's in the prime of his life, but you also have to remember that he has these underlying medical health conditions that you kind of have to take care of. And he has kids. He has a wife. Like, it's cool. Like, but you don't want to die because of your job. Like, you know what I mean? Or you don't want to chance getting sick. But I don't know. Roman Reigns has done pretty well for the WWE. So I don't know. Whatever happens, I hope I hope it's for the best. Or it could be the fact that Roman Reigns is going to take a break. I don't think he's going to retire, so to speak, but taking a break, yes. I think he can very much take a break. He deserves a break. He's had this strap for so freaking long, man. He deserves it. But honestly, I think there's nobody that's wishing that the Undisputed Championship is going to get changed at WrestleMania more than Roman Reigns, because it's probably like, all right. Not that like I'm saying that he's like, oh, I want to be a loser. Like I'm done being the champion. No, it's just like these guys, this is their job. This is their job, man. Like if you're traveling 365 days constantly and you have to make constant appearances because you're the guy and he's been the champion for more over 1300 days. Like this guy he's probably tired, man. He's probably, like it makes sense. It really does honestly make sense because you don't see him all the time, and you also don't see him in a lot of matches unless they're like pay-per-views, and that's why he skips pay-per-views. And I'm not trying to condone his actions because we kind of got on Brock Lesnar's ass about the same thing, like you're not a real champion, you're a part-timer. But honestly, it kind of makes sense. Like if Roman Reigns is kind of like, dude, to be honest, like I kind of want to take care of my health here. I kind of need a break. So honestly, I kind of thought about what if he did retire. If Roman Reigns retired, if the match night 2 ends, he looks at Cody, grabs his hand, raises it up, and everyone's like, "What the heck's going on? What's going on?" And then everybody comes out thinking that there's going to be a huge brawl again, and then you have Seth kind of like knowing what's going to happen because obviously the two closest wrestlers, obviously they were part of the Shield. And honestly, Seth and Roman are probably like they're best friends. They came into this company together. They've both hit superstardom. They have injuries, and they've been there for one another. So imagine that. Imagine if he retires and announces it like as soon as the match ends, and it's oh my god, that would be absolutely insane. And it would be so memorable. It would be so memorable for Roman Reigns because think about it, and it makes so much sense. You have your cousin there. You have Jimmy and Jay, Seth, and Cody's going to be kind of like the new face. And those are all pretty important people in Roman's life. Like, if you think about it, you're like, if I was a wrestler, and if I had a chance to have my best friend, my family all in the same ring, and a guy that I respect who's going to take the crown, that would be the perfect way to go out. That would be the absolute best way to go out. Walk out while you're on top. You had one of the best title reigns in the modern era, and you have no reason to hang your head low. You did the company well. You did the other superstars well, and the WWE is now back on the map thanks to Roman Reigns and thanks to this whole bloodline thing. The bloodline has been prominent and kind of made WWE and SmackDown very, very like popular. Honestly, before the bloodline, you should compare the ratings for Raw and SmackDown before the bloodline was, formed. Or even before Roman Reigns came back in 2020. Or, and later when he got the strap and stuff like that. So I don't know. But like if he was gonna retire, he loses the match, raises up Cody's hand, has a farewell speech like, hey guys, his name's Joe. I want, talk about something serious, and this is for my family. I'm gonna take a step away from the ring for health reasons. I want to thank you guys all for this ride and stuff like that. And you kind of have The Rock, this would be like such like a break in kayfabe, and also like a break in like the fourth wall. But especially if this might be Roman Reigns' last match, I think you kind of owe it to him for him to kind of, kind of go out the way he wants, even if he kind of like breaks storyline here. But honestly, it all makes sense. At first, when I saw it and I read it, I was like, dude, this is bull spit. This isn't going to happen. And then after I read it, I was like, no, like, I don't know. It might very much happen, guys. And I was the first one to tell you. Like I said, he's worked with everyone and he needs to be like, I don't know. This is WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania season. It's built on shocking moments, and it wouldn't surprise me if that happened. He's still currently taking medicine for leukemia, and he was saying that in the A&E documentary. And he was diagnosed with leukemia in 2007, and he had a recurrence in 2018 where he had to relinquish his championship, and where he did, where he wasn't in remission yet, but he eventually came back because he was in remission. Roman Reigns actually speculated on retiring back during the pandemic, where it was like just scary times for people with underlying medical conditions, like somebody with leukemia. Like even like people like it really affected the elderly a lot because they had those underlying medical conditions where something as simple as a cough or a cold or a sore throat might advance or might perpetuate someone into a more disease in their cardiovascular system. And that's the reason why Roman Reigns kind of wanted to call it quits. But as soon as they found the vaccine, as soon as they were able to, control, not control it because, COVID is still very much alive today. But as soon as they kind of like knew a little bit more information about it, because you remember when the pandemic happened, when COVID came out, everybody was like, dude, what's going on? The whole world shutting down? What? Like, what? What do you mean toilet paper costs like $500 now? What do you mean I'm only limited to 1 gallon of milk? I got 5 babies back no, I'm just kidding. But no, it was pretty scary times, guys. Very scary times. Like, especially like if you're someone who's battling cancer and, it's an ongoing process. You want to do everything you can to kind of, stay in the fight. Kind of you owe it to your family, your kids, your wife, your brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So honestly, Roman, it was shocking that he came back, and a lot of people, even Paul Heyman, said it was a miracle. It was a miracle that Roman Reigns came back. So I don't know. That he's back. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And honestly, if there's any way to go out WrestleMania, this would be the perfect time for Roman Reigns to call it quits and probably move on to something different. Who knows? He's a very talented guy. I don't know if he's going to stay in the wrestling world. And the passing of the torch. This kind of made me think that, like, because once when he leaves, it's going to be all on Cody. It's going to be all on Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes, he has like the spunk and he has the mic skills and stuff like that to kind of carry a promo, but he can't carry as much baggage as Roman Reigns did. Like, as the bloodline, is there going to be like a bloodline version for Cody Rhodes? Like, who knows? But I wouldn't honestly do that. It's crazy, but it makes a lot of sense. So if we say bye to Roman, if he's retiring, you got to also remember The Rock's leaving. He has a movie he's filming in May about the UFC fighter. Can Cody Rhodes represent the WWE like the Tribal Chief has throughout these past couple of years? I don't know. It should be interesting to see. And also, it's just crazy because what happens to Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso? Like, you don't know what's going to happen to them. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can probably see maybe Jimmy and Jay kind of making a reunion maybe along the lines. But Solo Sikoa, ever since he beat John Cena at WrestleMania, he has lost. I don't think he's won a single match after that. So he's kind of like that, kind of like this badass enforcer who can't win a match. So I don't know. We shall see what happens in the future. But as of today, Roman Reigns is not retiring. But if he does, don't be too shocked. But I don't know. I kind of really hope he doesn't. So I don't know. That was my show. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button and leave a positive review. Peace, love, and positivity all the way. It really does make a difference, guys. We love feedback here at the GSMC Sports Network. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, Instagram for more content and updates. Like I said, if I didn't get you hooked on wrestling yet, I'm sorry I failed you as a wrestling laureate. But also we have a baseball podcast with Sam, football with Kenneth. We also have college sports with Thomas. We have sports and sports and sports. If you don't like sports, we also have just categories. We are one of the best conglomerates in the podcasting world for entertainment. So thank you once again. I hope you guys like the podcast and have a phenomenal day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great.